In the middle of the vast, unpredictable ocean, a small fishing boat struggled to stay afloat. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the waves as Maria, a weary mother in her mid-30s, stood at the helm. Her dark hair was tied back in a ponytail, and her eyes, though tired, shone with a fierce determination. She was the sole provider for her 7-year-old son, Lucas, who sat quietly at the bow of the boat, his eyes fixed on the horizon. Maria and Lucas had been out at sea for days, and their supplies were running low. The fishing had been poor, and the small catch they had managed to haul in was barely enough to sustain them for another day. Despite the challenges, Maria remained steadfast, her focus solely on providing for her child. As the night began to fall, a larger boat appeared on the horizon. As it drew closer, Maria could see that it was a fishing trawler, its nets cast wide, scooping up everything in its path. The trawler's captain, a burly man with a thick beard, spotted Maria's small boat and altered his course to intercept it. The captain, fueled by wrath and a desire to monopolize the fishing grounds, began to harass Maria, demanding that she leave the area. He claimed that the small boat was interfering with his operations and threatened to destroy it if Maria didn't comply. Maria, however, refused to back down. She knew that this spot was one of the few places where she could catch enough fish to feed Lucas. The standoff between Maria and the trawler captain escalated, with the captain becoming increasingly aggressive. He began to circle Maria's boat, creating large waves that rocked the small vessel violently. Lucas, frightened by the commotion, clung to his mother, who held him tight, trying to reassure him. As the situation grew more dire, Maria was faced with a choice: give in to the captain's demands and risk starving, or stand her ground and risk everything. She chose the latter, knowing that integrity and standing up for what was right, even in the face of overwhelming opposition, was essential. The captain, enraged by Maria's defiance, made a final, desperate attempt to destroy the small boat. In a last-ditch effort to protect Lucas, Maria steered the boat directly into the path of the oncoming trawler. The collision was inevitable, and the small boat was destroyed, but Maria managed to grab Lucas and jump into the water just in time. As they clung to a piece of debris, watching their boat sink beneath the waves, Maria realized that they had lost everything. The boat, their home and livelihood, was gone, and they were left with nothing but the clothes on their backs. However, in that moment, Maria understood that she had saved something far more valuable than any material possession. She had saved her integrity and, more importantly, her child. The trawler, its captain, realizing too late the gravity of his actions, stopped and threw out a life raft. Maria and Lucas were rescued, but not before they had witnessed the devastating impact of unchecked wrath and the redemptive power of integrity. As they were pulled to safety, Lucas looked up at his mother, his eyes filled with a mixture of fear and admiration. "Why did you do that, Mama?" he asked, his small voice barely audible over the sound of the waves. Maria smiled, her eyes brimming with tears. "Because, my love," she said, "sometimes you have to lose everything to gain what truly matters." The moral of the story is clear: integrity is not about winning or losing, it's about standing up for what is right, even when it's hard. It's about being true to oneself and one's values, even in the face of overwhelming adversity. Maria's story teaches us that the greatest victories are often the ones that are hardest to achieve, and that sometimes, losing everything can lead to gaining something far more precious: our dignity, our self-respect, and the knowledge that we did what was right.